Never had a problem. Like, out of all of the times that we went down, never had a single problem. A breakdown, nothing. Like, yeah, it was all fine until this one time, a week before our wedding.
Yeah. Alright, ooh baby, just hold tight. We're up at the moonlight, believe in the magic. On side, we'll make it feel just right. Just look at that bright light, believe in the magic.
Hi guys, so we are going to do a long-awaited video. A few of you guys have asked and we've been meaning to do it, we just haven't gotten around to actually filming it. So here we go.
So it's a bit of a backstory about us. How we grew up, where we fit in each of our families, which are actually surprisingly similar. Yeah, just what we did when we were younger and all of that sort of stuff, right up until we started vlogging.
Yeah.
So, and then you get the rest of the story if you watch the rest of our vlogs.
Alright, ladies first, so that's me. Alright, as you guys know, my name is Ashley. I was born on the 10th of June 1989 here in Queensland on the Sunshine Coast. I won't go into the suburb.
Well, there's only one hospital on the Sunshine Coast.
No, there's two. Shut your face. Alright, I am the youngest of 4. I have 2 brothers and a sister. I actually got into nippers. I did it for one day. I'm not really much of a beach swimming person. Like, I love swimming and stuff, but not so much in the beach. Purely because like there's jellyfish and all sorts of things. I'm the only one that did it for one day as well in my family. I think we all did nippers apart from Mum, but I don't know, she might correct me on that. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, primary school. I went to 2 primary schools. I was at my first primary school the first pretty much 4 years. The last term of grade 4 I moved to a different school. We moved areas, so it would just be easier if I went to a school closer. So me and my brother that's closer to age than me, went to a different school. And the high school that we were going to go to anyway was closer there, so we moved schools. In 98 I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It was a pretty long process as such. I was in hospital for a week, but I've got a video which will be in the description below if you want to find that out. So yeah, while I was at school, primary school and high school, I did a bit of travelling to New Zealand because that's where my family is originally from. I went to Sydney. I think we went to Sydney a few times and we actually did a whole family trip, which was nice. I've also been to Perth. My oldest nephew, he was living in Perth way back when he was like 3, I think it was. So I went and spent I think a week or a few days there and visited him, so that was really great. And I've been to Melbourne a few times. Stayed at the Sofitel at Melbourne. It was awesome. And then yeah, so I pretty much finished school and got some jobs and you know, all that fun stuff. And then I was able to get my first car, which was really exciting because it's always exciting to get a new car, or your first car at least. And with me, I was very particular on what I wanted. I definitely wanted a Toyota Celica. Why did I want that car? I really don't remember. But I know Mum and Dad weren't too happy with me because that was the only car that I wanted to look at, and that was pretty much that. So yeah, it was just getting old, and at that time I was like driving to Brisbane and all that sort of stuff, so it just wasn't a good car. So yeah, I ended up getting rid of it. But yeah, that's about it for my little childhood. Nothing really overly interesting happened. I didn't break any bones, get any stitches or anything like that.
So I was born 11th of June 1986. So Ashley's birthday is the 10th of June, mine's the 11th. So
kind of crazy how that ended up working out.
Yeah, we're 3 years apart, but our birthdays are 1 day apart, which is pretty good, as you would have seen from our birthday vlog.
3 years.
Yeah. So I'm the second youngest of 4. So Ashley's family, they're 6, mine is 6 as well. and it literally goes male and female all the way down. So I went to Scouts. So I started in Joey's and went all the way through to Venturers. So at Joey's, Cubs, Scouts, Venturers.
So Joey's is what age, maybe?
Start off about 6. Went on loads and loads of camps, like just about, I think once a month, once every 2 months or so, all the way through Scouts we went on camps, which was so much fun. And we also went on these big camps called jamborees as well. So my first one was in '98. It was actually out at Springfield, which is funny enough, it's just down the road from where we live now. And there's a big shopping centre where that camp actually was now. During like being in Scouts and all of that sort of stuff, travelled to Sydney and Adelaide for again another 2 big camps. The Sydney one we drove down on the bus and took forever. It was like the most horrible time I've ever had. First time I've ever been on a plane was when I went down to Adelaide, and that was like the first and only time until I was with Ashley actually. Like at primary school I broke my arm and I also had stitches. So I am influenced quite easily, I think. So my younger sister said that it would be a fun idea, a good idea to actually slide down the railing at Mum and Dad's house. And so I did. About halfway down, slipped backwards, hit my head on the corner of the step and split my head open. Don't know if you've seen or not, but I've got a scar in the back of my head. You see it more when I get my hair cut. I don't really care. It's just part of me, part of my growing up, and have a few people ask me about it, so I'm more than happy to tell them the story, because it is quite a funny story. Amazing. I ended up with 3 stitches. So high school. I went to 2 high schools. At my first one I did rowing. My second one moved to, one of the main reasons was because I wanted to be a chef all the way through high school. Like 100% wanted to be a chef, yes, like loved cooking, still love cooking. Went and did some work experience while I was at my second high school and decided it wasn't really for me. Didn't really like the split shifts, didn't really like the sound of the early starts, having no social life, all of that sort of stuff, because when you're working everyone else is partying, when you're ready to have time off and go out and whatnot, everyone's at work. So that does not sound like the sort of job for me. So I changed to IT, which is another one of my passions. I absolutely love technology, which you will see and in the future I'm sure, and probably have already seen. Ashley and I have so much technology in our house, it's not funny. So yeah, I finished school, went and did a traineeship, and I've worked for a couple of government departments, a couple of places, a couple of industries as well. And I didn't have my license until I was 26. That was well after I met Ashley.
Alright guys, now it's time that we met.
Yes. So about 2007 Ashley and I met.
I think it was around about the start.
So we were talking on the phone quite a bit. One of our friends actually didn't actually...
We didn't actually like physically meet with
in person.
that person.
Like they just gave us the phone numbers, then from there we exchanged MSN Messenger addresses, and we would email each other. We would talk on MSN pretty much every night.
Yeah.
At that stage, because MSN Messenger was big back in 2007. This is before Facebook even, I think.
Yeah, I remember MySpace. I don't think we used MySpace.
No. Oh, MySpace is a horrible site. It's still around actually. So yeah, being all about technology and stuff. I don't know. We were just kind of talking and just
and it was
getting
cheaper back then, I think, too.
Yeah.
Instead of calling.
The first time we met in person was actually at the train station. So I got up at like 4:30, something like that, to actually go up to the Sunshine Coast to go and meet Ashley, so we could actually spend the day together. Didn't want to just go up at lunchtime or something like that, because it was a 2-hour train trip for me because I didn't have a license at the time, and so Ashley had to come and pick me up from the train station. So I was a bit nervous all the way up there. I think I messaged Ashley when I actually left, but then when she got out of bed she actually messaged me back again, and I just wanted to make sure that she was actually going to turn up. After about a week or two break, we actually spent pretty much every weekend together all the way through. Whether it was at my place, at Ashley's place, down at Mooloolaba, wherever. Because we stayed in the hotel a fair bit too, which was pretty nice.
So yeah, we had a lot of dates, and yeah, we spent every weekend together. And then in December, or more like November, Mum and Dad were worried that I was driving to Brisbane a lot and my car wasn't going to make it too much longer because it was an older car. So Mum and Dad decided that I needed to go and look for a new one. So I ended up buying my first brand new car, which I was really excited about. I don't think it took me long to pick a car that I want. I pretty much, like, if I see something, that's what I want to get. And that's pretty much what happened. It was a little Kia Rio sedan, and they had one out the front of a Kia car shop, and it was all done up.
It had rims on it, it had,
it had
body
a body kit.
The lot, like the like spoiler and everything, it was all nicely done up.
Yeah, so yeah, that was really exciting for me, and I remember I said no eating in the car and all of that. That didn't last long. I think that lasted a week. I was driving to work one day and I popped into Macca's and I spilt my bacon and egg McMuffin in the like middle section. So yeah.
Oh, and I remember a couple of weeks later I opened up a can of Coke.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with it.
It sprayed on the roof. And the mark was still there when we sold the car. So it would have been early-ish 2008 that Ashley and I broke up for like a week over something completely stupid. That would have been the only time that I didn't actually go up and see her.
Yeah, but during the week I took a train trip down into the city to see him from the Sunshine Coast. I don't know, I suppose we weren't really talking much, but we went and had lunch.
Yeah. And I don't know, I think something just kind of made me think, well, maybe I do actually want to be with her.
Yeah, I think it was only like 2 or 3 days after I'd came and seen you for lunch.
Yeah, so then we were back together again, I suppose.
Yeah, and then I think it would have been about a few weeks to a month after we got back together. Sorry, Oni's just down here. That we got back together that Dan proposed to me. We were at the time at my parents' place and he wanted to go for a walk along the beach. It was like late afternoon, night time. We did that quite a lot, went for a walk along the beach at night. It was nice and just calming, and no one was sort of around to bug you or anything like that, so it was really, really nice. So yeah, he decided, babe, I really want to go for a walk. Let's go to the beach and go for a walk. So yeah, he was like, babe, let's go for a walk. I really didn't feel like it, but I did it anyway, and I'm glad I did. So yeah, we were just staring out in the middle of nowhere out in the ocean, and I don't know, did we see something, or he told me to turn around, look, there's something there.
I did the whole like pretend that there's something there sort of thing, and got her to turn around. So when she turned around to say, yeah, there was nothing there, she
swore.
Yeah, she swore at me.
Not in a bad way.
No, but yeah.
I was happy.
Yeah, she was happy, and she did say yes at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That's like it was actually the beach that we went to on the first day that we actually went and met each other.
We went to the beach and hung out, and
yeah.
We had a 1.5 year engagement. So yeah, we had a whole 1.5 year of planning. We actually took a break of planning for a few months because we didn't really know what we wanted, but everything that we were seeing, we're like, okay, yes, we want that, we want that. So we were pretty much had everything organized pretty early.
It got actually boring.
Yeah, it got boring to the point where we had nothing to do for the wedding as such. We were just waiting for the day to come.
So yeah, about 9 months before our wedding, I found a new job. So we moved about 600 kilometres away to a little place called Rockhampton. It is a little place.
Yeah, it takes 10 minutes to get from one side to the other.
Yeah, literally 10 minutes. It was hot up there. And
that's in central Queensland, by the way.
So it's just where it starts to get quite warm and all of that. It's hot, humid. Aircon is a must up there. So not much really happened up there. We did make some new friends.
Yeah.
We moved once to the unit next door. So we actually lived in a set of 3 units up there, and we were in number 2.
To start off with?
To start off with, and then we moved to what, number 3? Yeah.
We had, I think, 2 different owners while we were there. The second owner, or the last owner that we had, renovated the units. So we were lucky enough that our lease wasn't up just yet, but yet the neighbours next to us were, so they didn't get their lease renewed. So they ended up renovating that place first, and then they offered it to us. And of course we said yes, because who wants to move if you don't have to?
Yeah.
And since it was all like freshly new painted and bathroom all done up, aircon in all the bedrooms, which is a must because the old unit only had aircon downstairs, so we ended up moving our bed down.
Yeah, it was like every 6 months or so we'd move our bed. Like either up, like downstairs in the summer, upstairs in the winter for about 4 years.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a big drama, but we were happy to move. So we moved into the next unit, and we made some more friends from people that have moved in, and whatnot.
And they're still friends now.
We're still friends now with them.
So our wedding was on the Sunshine Coast because that's where we'd organised everything, paid all the deposits and whatnot before we actually moved. So then, yeah, we drove down to our wedding, the 600-kilometre drive or so that we'd always done, and
never had a problem.
Never had a problem. Like, out of all of the times that we went down, never had a single problem, a breakdown, nothing. Like, yeah, it was all fine until this one time, a week before our wedding.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were coming up to a bridge where there was a fairly tight bridge sort of thing, which doesn't actually exist anymore. So there was a wide load coming from the other way, and a pilot car was stopping people from going over the bridge. So the people in front of us slammed on their brakes, went off to the side. We also did the same, and yeah, the people behind us didn't quite stop as quickly as what we did, and they hit the left-hand side of our car.
The back.
At the back, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of scary. I was driving at the time, obviously. We were both a bit shaken up. Dan sort of got a bit of whiplash with his neck, and they ended up taking him off to hospital. And so I was left there by myself. But I did call my parents, and they came to pick me up. It was really, really hot that day too, being summer.
Because we got married in December.
Yeah, we got married in December. So yeah, it was really, really hot. I think everything was pretty much done. I was just waiting for my parents to come and pick me up. But because I was there by myself or whatever, the police couldn't leave. But yeah, Mum and Dad eventually came to get me, and then we went to the hospital to go and meet Dan.
So following that accident and our wedding and everything like that, we had no car for about 3 months. Yeah,
well, we didn't have our car for
we didn't have our car for about 3 months. So we actually borrowed Ashley's parents' car just after Christmas. So our first Christmas we actually spent alone. I think we were going.
Nice.
I think we were going to anyway.
Yeah.
But because otherwise we would have just stayed at your parents' place.
Yeah.
And we actually got bikes to get to work. That lasted all of about a week or so.
Yeah.
Because I was on the other side of Rockhampton, and especially with it being summer, 40-degree heat,
Yeah.
really humid.
Too hot to ride.
Riding to work was fine because it was in the morning and it was okay. Home from work was horrible. It was I did that twice, I think, and then after that I just got taxi.
Yeah.
Because it was just easier. And then one of the guys from work actually came and picked me up, which was really nice. So it's your typical small town sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
everybody wants to help you out, and I think Ashley found the same sort of thing.
Yeah. One of my friends that I was working with, she would give me a lift when she could, and if she couldn't, she'd get her boyfriend too, so it was really nice. And you know, we're still friends with them, so it's good. Alright, so a year after our wedding, we have always wanted kids, but yeah, a year after our wedding we decided to go and see if we could get some help trying to fall pregnant, and that's when they diagnosed me with PCOS, so that's polycystic ovary syndrome. It didn't really bother me too much at all, so yeah, I was diagnosed with that. Bit of a downfall. The only side effect I suppose was infertility.
So my job was actually coming to an end because I was on a contract. So I was coming down to Brisbane quite regularly for job interviews and everything. Although that didn't really end up working, sort of thing. Like, it didn't quite work out that I had a job for when I finished my old one, which wasn't too bad because we actually had some money saved up, so it was okay. We'd packed up our house, getting ready to clean everything, and it was coming up to the last week of me being at work.
Yeah, and leaving Rocky.
Yeah. So then we went out to lunch one day, and a couple of days prior to that, Ashley was complaining that she wasn't feeling well.
I started getting some really bad cramping, which I thought was just normal, because I was never one for cramping anyway, but I started cramping a few months beforehand for the female business. Anyway, so I had big cramps, and I just thought it was normal. It was on and off. It only happened for about 5 minutes at a time, so I didn't really think too much of it. The next day I just really couldn't handle it. We went out to lunch, and not even halfway through lunch, which I was so bummed about, I told Dan that I need to go to the hospital. I'm not feeling too good. It was a weekend, so hospital would have been the best place anyway. I was in a lot of pain. I was crying. We were waiting in the emergency waiting room.
It would have been a good 2 hours.
Anyway, it was due to PCOS. So I had a big cyst on my left ovary. It hadn't burst or anything, but it got that big that it had twisted my ovary. So in the end I needed to go in for surgery, and they removed my whole left ovary. So that put another downer to things on us falling pregnant. Yeah. So yeah, we found another job, so we ended up moving to south of Brisbane. Yeah.
So during that job I actually did quite a bit of travel. So for our 5th wedding anniversary, we actually went on a cruise over to New Caledonia, was it? And Vanuatu. That was a lot of fun. I tried organising it as like a surprise sort of thing, but
things like that just don't work out for us. We tell each other everything pretty much.
And I think it lasted all of about 3 weeks until I told Ashley.
The cruise was awesome. The destinations, not so much, but I mean, it's just from what we're used to.
We really realised on that cruise sort of thing that
how lucky we actually are.
Yeah, we're quite lucky living in Australia.
Yeah. So you probably already know this, that we stopped trying to have a baby because it was 6 years that we'd been trying. So yeah, we decided to give up. So much so we thought, that's it. Yeah, let's go and get a new car.
It's not going to happen. Let's go and get a new car. Let's just kind of enjoy our lives together, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So so we ended up going out, looking at some sports cars, because that's what I wanted. It was coming up to my 30th birthday.
That's right.
Sorry, our Papa girl is running away from us.
And then one morning I woke up, it was about a week later, and I had been cramping for quite some time, so I've been waiting for things to happen, and nothing was happening, so I've taken many tests in the past. I thought I'd just take another one. It was kind of quite early in the morning. Dan was still asleep, so I decided to take a test. I could see a really, really faint line if I turned it on its side and like I squinted, so to me that just didn't seem like anything.
So she actually came out and showed me and woke me up, and I was like, oh, I can't see anything, why are you showing me this for?
And so I brought a test, didn't test until the next morning because that's when it's best to test, and we were on our way, or that day we were getting ready for Comic-Con in Brisbane. So yeah, Dan knew all about me wanting to take the test again, and he was awake and getting ready and stuff like that.
I was actually having a shave.
Yeah, he was having a shave. I'd peed in a cup to go and test and sat down on the bed and blah blah blah, and it was a 2-line one, and I got 2 lines and I screamed.
And scared the bejesus out of me as well. And just as I was starting to shave sort of thing, and almost cut myself. But no, it was a good surprise.
It was a surprise, yeah. And I'm like, nah, this isn't real, so I had to get a digital one.
Yeah. Our car was starting to cost way too much money in repairs. It was starting to really annoy both of us, being unreliable. Number one thing was I didn't want Ashley driving around in an unreliable car when she was pregnant. I don't want us on the side of the road or anything like that with a car that's broken down. And so we went out looking for cars. We pretty much decided we want a Mazda.
And that was pretty much from the positive test. Like when we got that first positive test, we were like, okay, we need to get a new car.
Yeah. And I was like, we can't have the, actually I did look it up to see if the car seat would actually fit in the 8.6. But then, yeah, thinking about it, no, that's not really a practical car to have a baby in. And I'm actually glad that we didn't get that, because there's not much room in the boot either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we decided to get the Mazda 3, and to make up for not getting the sports car, we decided to get the SP25, which is the sports model 2.5 litre version of the Mazda 3.
Alright, so that brings us to where we are now, vlogging. Dan got a new job and we moved out of Brisbane, and yeah, here we are.
So we moved to Ipswich, as you already know. But yeah, we've got a place that has NBN, which is the National Broadband Network, and we've actually got fibre to the home, which is just optical fibre straight to the house, which means faster and more reliable internet. So we decided that now was a good chance to actually start vlogging.
Well, I hope that was interesting to you guys to find out a little bit more about us. We are going to let you go here, get this girl, maybe take her into the actual park itself, or we've got a few bits and pieces to do, so I'm sure you'll see us go and do them.
Yep. Alright.
Alright. Bye. Thanks for watching.
Believe in the magic.